Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I am back. It's Sunday. We're doing our live psychic readings, as always. All readings and mediumship are for the purposes of entertainment only. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. All questions are $5 per question, and 30% is donated to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. I hope everybody is well and enjoying their weekend. Hello, Magic Well. And we're just getting ready for the holiday season. This is our first year to have a bunny and a tree. And I had to, like, when I was putting up the tree yesterday, I know it's really early, but my kids are bugging me. I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. It's less to do on. I usually do it the day after Thanksgiving, so less to do it then. And I had to like put these special cord wraps on the cord. And now I'm thinking I went out to look for this morning for it's called a tree collar. And so I have a tree skirt, but I was thinking, I don't know, I'm just, yeah, bunnies. So that's my adventure. That's where I'm at. I did have a lovely reading this morning, and it was really nice and refreshing. I don't usually do readings on Sundays, but I did do a private reading today. And it was interesting because I came upon, so you want to talk about like, so manifesting, I always want to like look at, de-stressing and things like that. But I talk about like, what do you guys ask me on here a lot? What do you do when you have anxiety, especially around manifesting? And I'm telling you about this. I'm going to include the link here at the bottom of this. I want to write a note to remember to do that. So I can't write and talk. So I often say like, okay, so you're going to want to, like, if you wake up with anxiety or whatever, you want to get up and move because it shifts your brain that you're out of danger, because anxiety is about being in that flight or fight mode. And so you want to be out of danger, so to speak. And I say, and then go into your affirmations. But I found this thing and it's really cool. So, and it's scientifically proven. So if you like the science, this is it. And it's about your vagus nerve starts in your head and it moves all throughout your body. And so if you stimulate the vagus nerve, then it helps relax. And some people talk about, hi KK, sorry I didn't send you the list. That's been my afternoon. So the if you stimulate the vagus nerve, then you can cause a sense of relaxation. So I was like, oh, let me see. And it's like rubbing your ears and stuff. So you don't have to do anything crazy. You won't necessarily look crazy, except for you might look like you're picking your ear a little bit, like, um, but I'm going to include the link because I think this woman has some really lovely things about trauma being stuck in the physical body, and things like that. So it might be just give it a look, see, and see what you think. I can't remember her name, but I did subscribe to her channel. So I will link it all below after this in the description. Hi, Clorinda. But it's literally just a couple of minutes, and I could feel like my back relax and get all tingly and don't not like weird. I guess I'm just really sensitive to my body and the way it feels. So you may not notice anything except that you feel relaxed. But it's a quick little thing to help you out. I think that's about it. I just for anybody who's new here, I don't think anybody's new here. I think I see everybody, but if you happen to be watching, I am a spiritualist reverend, a certified psychic medium, seance conductor, energy healer. I used to be a nurse. I am now a stay-at-home mom and running a spiritual practice. So I hope everybody is doing well. I may not be live tomorrow. I wasn't live on Friday. I was running errands. I may not be live tomorrow, but I'll probably go live on Tuesday. We're doing a little switch up of my daughter's schedule, so I'll be able to have some quiet time and chat with y'all. Okay, that said, let's go. Kayla, are you here? Hopefully. If not, I've got Kayla, Lana, Linda. Either any of you want to go? Oh, and I did do on Friday, I did a burn because it was you're Kay. Oh, sorry. I hope I'm not supposed to. I asked if that was your screen name. I sent you a little message through PayPal. And then, okay. I'll answer that real quick. There was one thing I was going to say, but I don't remember. So I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, I did a burn. I was doing my own burn on for the full moon, but I added a couple of you guys in there. So Lana and Linda, I added yours in there. Debbie, I added yours in there. And KK, I added yours in there. So if you guys ever want me to do a little manifesting magical burn for you, let me know if you have a special request or anything like that. I'm happy to add you in. Doesn't take much or a long time. Okay, my dog is having health problems. He just had a UTI and has another problem with pooping blood. Boxers sometimes get colitis. It should be resolved, or should I brace myself for the worst? I'm afraid it's cancer. I was told by a psychic I'll have to come. Oh, well, Jesus Christ. Ugh. All right. I really, I get so upset when people do doom and gloom readings, and that my doom and gloom reading. So you do what you want, but I personally would stay away from somebody who gives readings like that because that's like awful. Like you're gonna have to put. So then, if anything pops up, then you're like, "Holy shit, that's terrible." Fuck that. Pardon my French. I'm sorry to all the French people out there. Pardon English. But geez Louise. I mean, I get medical stuff for people, but I never go, you're going to have to make a decision. And even for their pets, I just say, pay attention. Don't ignore it. Because a lot of times we tend to ignore things like, oh, it'll blow over. It'll be fine. It's nothing. And I just sort of go, just pay attention. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad or whatever. Just pay attention. I literally just heard, no, it's not. It's colitis. It is not cancer. It's colitis. Um, I actually feel like they said his gut bacteria may be off, and that's what contributed to both the UTI and now this. So it feels like I don't know if they give dogs probiotics, but or if you can feed him yogurt or something. I know you can do that with cats. I can't remember if I would feed my dog yogurt sometimes. It's been a long time since I've had a dog. I know I can't feed a bunny yogurt. But like my bunny, I give her these little things to help her, make sure, especially when she's molting, because bunnies are like horses. They can't throw up. So like they're not like cats, like where cats clean themselves and they can like throw up a hairball if it's like instead of trying to pass it. And that's not how bunnies are. That readings like that will scare you, and rightfully so. And he is 11. That's pretty old. But I don't think it is. I think it's colitis, and I think he needs like so talk to the doctor, like, oh, could this be that he needs, I mean, just throw it out there, right? Don't be like, the psychic told me. Just be like, could he need some probiotics? Like, is that something, like if you're getting, maybe he's got some dysbiosis and needs a little pick me up, a little healthy help. Especially given that he's older. I actually don't feel like you'll have to make a choice at a time when it is time for him to go, and I don't think it's anytime soon. I think he'll be like just kind of pass peacefully in his sleep the way my dog did from growing up. My golden retriever that I had, like my parents got her when I was 6 months old, and she passed away during a tropical storm in Houston. Oh god, it was terrible. My mom like had to put her. She was a big dog, and my mom had to like wrap her in a sheet. She was like on our patio because we couldn't get anywhere to, yeah. So I feel like I feel like it's colitis, Kayla, and I feel like he'll be when he does pass, it'll be peacefully in his sleep. It will not be a decision that you have to make, and it would be from old age, not from it's not a suffering type thing. And I so get it. I so get loving your pet more than you could ever imagine. Like I get it. They are like these, wonderful, like even my dog I had, my only dog I've had as an adult. Man, she was a pain in the ass, but I loved her. And so I get it. So don't worry. Maybe refrain from going to that person again. Look, it's not to say that like, I don't know, maybe she was picking up on fear. I don't know, but only come to me. I'm kidding. I don't like to create that codependency, and I think there's plenty of gifted people out there. I just think if someone's going to make you, if you walk away from a reading feeling scared, upset, anxious, like not good, you haven't gotten a reading that's in line with your higher self, right? It just means that's where they're practicing from. So I just sort of say, like, as long, especially when you're finding your own spiritual practice, if whatever somebody is telling you about connecting with God or whatever makes you feel like garbage or fearful, that's not it. Okay? So just I don't know. I get it. I try to always be on point. I mean, I'm not always, but I like to be. So thank you. The goal is for me to be correct and to be helpful and to be empowering you, not making you feel like garbage and not just trying to take money because I don't know. I like to think about my energy and how it affects me and all of that good stuff. And how, everything kind of ripples. It has a ripple effect, rippling out and rippling in and all that good stuff. All right, Miss Kayla. Okay, so did you have one more question? I'm just checking. I'm gonna check the PayPal to see if anybody else paid it. It's easier to check on my phone for whatever reason. All right, I need to add Starry Sky to the list. I really am trying to find a deeper purpose work-wise. I am burned out every job I do. Drawn to ranching, but I don't know what to do for. Okay, so let's back up because spirit doesn't want you to have any specific job. Like we have, and I know that that comes from this idea that God has a purpose for you and you are supposed to do. And like, if you're not doing it, then you're not following your purpose and you're not on a path and it's all crazy and not the case. Um, there isn't one thing that you have to do in this life. That's my interpretation of my experience and my connection with spirit. That it's sort of like, does it feel good? Like, I know I was supposed to do nursing for a while, and it felt really great. I mean, when I first started nursing, I was like, "I could do this for free." And if anybody's a nurse on here, you understand how insane that is to say that. I love helping people, right? And so but I also know I needed that experience and the type of schooling that I had towards it and all of that to help me grow and, like, do what I'm doing here and have the chutzpah to, like, say, fuck it, I'm not doing the norm and whatever. So know that even though those aren't the things that you're going to carry with you for life, there is a purpose for them and you learned something from them. Job opportunity you enjoy. Sorry, my nose is super itchy right now. Hi, Shar. Okay, I'll check in just a minute. I gotcha, Shar. Okay, after Starry Sky is Shar for two. I mean, it's like I feel like you already answered your own question. Do you have another one? So you want to do ranching. You want to work with animal. What on the ranch do you want to do? Work with cattle? That's what I think of when I think of ranches. And then there's farms. But ranches, I always think of like beef cattle ranches. I'm probably wrong, but I'm from Texas. So that's where I go automatically. You have to move. Oh my God, you might have to make some adjustments to do the thing that you want to dream about. Look, nobody said that following your dreams or following what you want to do would be comfortable and easy. And I'm gonna say that to you. I'm not answering like a psychic question for you right now. You're scared of tornadoes. Well, here's the beauty of tornadoes. Wherever you move, I'm guessing is in like the heart of the country, right? They probably have basements. I don't know. I grew up with tornadoes. I grew up in Houston. We had tornado drills in school. We had tornadoes during school one year. You were thinking Texas. I mean, they like in northern Texas, I think they have basements. In Houston, they don't because we'd all be flooded. But I don't know. It's like just something people deal with. It's not like tornadoes are popping up all the time. Do they happen? Yes. Do they have shelter places for them? Yes. I don't know. I mean, I guess to me, I think of it as like, yeah, lightning's scary, but I don't sit there and think like I'm so afraid if lightning strikes. I mean, how often do you get in your car? Your car's probably way more deadly than, and you're more likely to get in a car accident than you are. Listen, this is just common sense. There's no should in life. Do you want to? Is that where you want to stay? Could you use it as a secondary income, as a passive income? Is that an option for you? Like, you're so afraid of being tied down and making a mistake, you're not going to make a mistake. You're just not. Like, you're going to learn from every experience that you have in life. If you have a dream, I want to ask you this. When you look back and look at life this way, if you're sitting on your deathbed, are you going to regret not trying it? What is it that about ranching really excites you? It's hard work, long hours, long hours. There are no holidays and weekends. That is 24, I mean, that is a 365 job. I guess if you own your own ranch, but who knows? Maybe you'll marry a rancher and they're super duper rich, especially if they have those big ranches. Look at Reed Drummond. Okay. So you would regret it. So go do it. And I hate to be so like, I'm not trying to be flippant, but I'm very serious. Like that's how I make decisions in life. Would I regret not sticking to like doing this channel and not sticking to try and grow my business and not, yes, I would absolutely regret it. That's why I go. That's why everybody's like, oh, you want to raise those numbers? Yeah, I do. I want to raise the numbers, but like I'm not gonna cry if it's not overnight. I'm stubborn. I'm gonna stick with it. People coming on here saying nasty things. So this isn't psychic. So ask me a psychic question because you already know what you want to do. And I actually heard, yes, she'll do it in the next 2 years. And I actually feel like you might end up doing where you buy your dad's condo and use it as passive income and then go do that and then eventually sell it down the road. And I actually feel like you'll be more Oklahoma rather than Texas. All right, so there. I want to Mexico. I don't know why I would get New Mexico, but it doesn't seem like a place there'd be a ranch. Okay, Lana, New Mexico, not Mexico. No, Mexico. Nueva Mexico. Lana or Linda, you guys are up. Devry. Lana, what does Spirit want me to know? I do too. Supposedly on the Lower East Side, there is now a breakfast taco place. But I've developed an egg allergy myself. So if I want to eat breakfast tacos anymore, I have to actually take an antihistamine before I eat. It doesn't like it just like dumps histamine into my stomach and I have massive stomach pain, but so I can eat and sleep. All right, so I hear this like it's such a silly song and I know like it's not the coolest song, but whatever reason it is now in my word bank of psychic dictionary thing for meaning it's time to get moving on your dream. Like you've got everything lined up and this feels like it'll be your side gig. You're not your main 9 to 5. Like you're gonna have some kind of little side gig dreamy thing. And it's like it's time to start moving your passion that way. It's time to get like moving and growing that. I'm leaning towards, or maybe it's not even necessarily side gig, like wanting to start as like present a project that you're an idea that you have at work, but you haven't, you've been dragging your feet, feeling like it's not going to be received well. And it's like, it feels like if the time is ripe for that now. You're welcome, Kay. My feet are getting cold. Hold on. Please like and subscribe. Share me with your friends. I know in the past that my best friend told me that she shared the channel with somebody and then it unsubscribed her somehow. So just mentioning. Make sure you stay subscribed. And thank you for all the love and support. I don't see anybody new here today. So thank you to those of you that are still here. Lana, does any of that make sense to you? I'm sort of like staring at my dark lipstick because I don't wear dark lipstick a lot. I need to stop. I'm branching out. I'm getting crazy. I don't know if it's a side gig or if it's like a project that you would have been wanting to present at work and like haven't for whatever reason. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Dulcie. I'm not really a showy girl, so like it's funny. What happened? Why is this turning on? Uh-oh. Did my heater just die? And my heater just died. Okay, Allie, I'll check for it. I think my heater just died. Boo. Well, shucks. Black Friday sale. Lana, does it make sense to have like a project or something? Do you want to have a more specific question than a random, like, tell me something? Because the song I hear is so stupid. It's and I'm sorry to the Black Eyed Peas for knocking your music, but let's get it started in here. Let's get it like that's the song. So that to me means it's time to get going. It's time to get moving. Ugh, so annoyed about that. It's cold in here. I don't have my slippers on. I usually wear slippers when I do readings. Anyone? Is there just a really long delay or do I just like talking to myself? Sometimes it's like, there you are. Will I have enough to retire on? So I feel like yes and no. So I feel like, yes, I'm going to have enough, but I would have to live extremely frugally. And so, no, in that sense, like, so my mom retired, had enough to live frugally, but still wanted to, she retired from teaching, but still wanted to like not live super, super tight and be able to like come visit us and all of that stuff. And so she teaches piano privately. So she's still working, but she's like loves doing what she does now. And she's making, it's really helping her. And so it doesn't feel like because she loves what she's doing, it doesn't feel like work, right? It doesn't feel like, ugh, I don't want to have to do, she really enjoys what she does. My kids get free piano lessons, so I'm cool with it. Free piano over Zoom, but so it feels like, okay. So it feels like, you'll have enough to retire, but it feels tight. So you might do something like work at a bookstore, something where it feels not stressful, but just something you enjoy to make some extra money. Okay. Like, I don't feel like and it may be not even like you're so just frugally, it's just more of a mindset of like liking the extra cushion. That makes sense. That could be your gig. So maybe it's like starting to kind of get that down. Hang on, let me just double check PayPal. Okay. Devry, are you here? Linda and Devry, you guys have your questions ready to go? Add another one for Allie, so she's at 2. I don't have another one yet for UK, but it doesn't mean it's here. And I'll come back to you. Okay, general reading. Are you doing generals tonight? I'll do generals. I don't always so it's funny, well, you know this. Generals are harder than because I always feel like I'm like, "I hope they like what they're getting. I'm not picking it." This is all very metaphorical, so I'm not sure, but it's like they're saying she's doing all right, she's doing fine, and they're showing me like as if I'm swimming in the deep end of the ocean. I mean, what part of the ocean isn't really deep, let's be honest, except for right at the shoreline. But I feel like I'm swimming in the deep end of the ocean and it feels like it's dark. The water's dark. I can't see, but they're showing me like reaching your toe down and almost able to touch ground and almost able to get your footing. And so it feels like you're almost there. You're almost there. Don't worry, you're almost there. So, whatever that means that you're almost able to get your footing and you're almost there, it feels like so for me, I feel like this is an emotional footing and an emotional place because for me, water always represents my emotions. And it also represents my spiritual journey as well. So it's a little bit of both of that of almost getting your footing and feel like you have your feet on solid ground for not solid ground because you still have to walk out of the water to get on the solid ground, but it feels like you're almost to the point where you can touch and get your footing emotionally. And I feel like this is from like, that loss of and then, like, in a spiritual sense, feeling like you got this, you're feeling much more comfortable with it and more connected. I mean, you're really connected, but it's like, that like, it took me a long time to feel really stable in what I believed, spiritually speaking. Oh, isn't that interesting? And doesn't that go along with the reading that I gave a while ago that I thought that it wasn't? Just saying, right? Am I wrong? So I know this sounds weird when I say that, but when I talk about spiritually, it feels like there's going to be more coming where it's going to even make it more like solid, solid as a rock, and nothing's changing. Sorry, that cheesy song. I get these songs. Ah, this is why like I have to watch like certain things on mute because the like songs like that are like the 15-second clips will get in my head for 8 hours, and I'm like, oh Jesus. Um, so yeah, I just feel like it's just a little bit more time. You're almost there. You're doing okay. So just hang in there. It'll be okay. They said things are going to twist in a surprise way. So I don't know what that means, but things are going to shift in a surprise way. And it's not always for you to know. So as much as we listen, I like to know the details too. I like to calm that little nitpicky, worrisome part of me, that lower self that's always trying to keep me safe. I get it. The psychic sing along. Now that song is uh, Davri, are you here, dear? Kayla, I got your other question, so bear with me, okay? Oh, Devry, also did I tell you I added you in the burn for this? You're not gonna like this. It's not about time, it's literally about you deciding to finally give up and quit trying to control it. I had a reading myself on Friday, no, Thursday, and it was literally like the cards that were coming was a tarot reading. You're squeezing and trying to control it all and trying to make it happen. They're like, "Just let it go. Don't worry about it. Know it's gonna happen and not worry about it." That's such an easy thing to say, and I get it. Um, they're showing me circling back around with Raheem. So it feels like he circles back around. So he's gonna leave for a little bit, but I feel like somehow, for some reason, it circles back around. You got the office job. Oh, I was gonna tell you this. So this is what I think. Yes, I do see something getting better. And I wanted to like I was thinking about this earlier, that I wanted to talk about. It was like with you specifically with the job was before you even wrote that was like just take a job. It's not going to be the ideal job, but it leads to the ideal job. So I don't know if that means within the company that you're at, you get a better job, or if it means, or they give you a pay raise or something like that, or if it means it's a totally different position. They just said totally different position, but it leads to it, and I don't know why or how. So I don't know if it means, um, maybe somebody leaves this job and finds you. I don't know, or you keep applying other places, but it feels like it leads to a better job. I don't feel like you're supposed to make it work. That's the part about like you're squeezing it and trying to control it and trying to make it happen. And they're sort of saying, let it go and it'll circle back around somehow. So maybe instead of like trying to force the connection or whatever, you're just like, okay, maybe you just enjoy his time and stop trying to force it. And then that's where the connection happens. Maybe it means you walk away from it and then like just focus on yourself. And then he comes coming back and starts bugging you like, Deborah, I love you. Ooh, I miss you. I don't know that he would really do that way, but it would be funny if he did, right? um, it sounds like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, um, that's where I'm talking about, like, sort of like releasing the need and surrendering the need to control the way it happens and just allowing everything to kind of fall into place. They're not saying if he's the life partner, honestly, and they and like sometimes they do that because it's not about the partner, it's about you knowing that it's there and knowing that it'll come and like just putting yourself out there obviously, but like stop trying to control. It's like it's like some people like every guy they meet, they're like, "Oh my god, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one?" I've been there. Just kidding. Um, like you wonder, right? It's not about that. It's just like just enjoy it. Just have fun. Just enjoy the person. Don't worry about it if it's the one and just like enjoy your time. And don't put the pressure on yourself that it has to be the one. And I get it. You feel like time and the clock is ticking and all of that stuff, but if you try to force something just to say you have your life partner and you've met them, it's not going to end up being your life partner. You're just trying to squeeze the life out of them and yourself. And it ends up being connection for the wrong reason. So it just feels like what they really want you to do. And I feel like this is what helps you connect you to the life partner. I know it's not what you wanna hear, and they literally told me this they told me something, and then they're like, "But well, you can't tell her," and so, like, I'm not trying to be like a snit about it, but, like, they're like, "It is important, it is imperative for her to focus on just, like, relaxing, letting go, because it's like stopping up all of the energy from movement." Like, we can't really control like, even though we're controlling things through manifesting and, like, whatever, but we're not really controlling it. And, like, the control you have is, like, just allowance, like, putting out there what your desire is and allowing it. So, like, sounds, like, weird, but, like, when I go shopping and I'm looking for something, I just decide something's gonna be there. I'm like, if it's like, "Oh, I'm not seeing it in the right thing," or "I want another one of this," or whatever, I guess that's probably why I like to shop at places like Marshalls and stuff because as long as I can't afford other it's like, I like that, like, will it be in my size? Will I find the one I'm looking for? It feels like a little adventure. I'm a weirdo. I've embraced my weirdness. It's all good. So, like, I was looking at a pair of boots I wanted, and I was like, "Oh, but I really need it in the different size because 'cause they're running a little bit big." And I was like, "Okay, it's not showing up." And I was like, "Whatever, it's gonna show up, and it's gonna show up in some strange, like, random place that I wasn't looking, like, it's gonna just show up." And it did, and that's exactly how it showed up. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. I let it go instead of going like, "If it's here, oh my god, what's gonna happen? My world's gonna fall apart." Well, like, I get it, it's easy to let go of a pair of shoes because, like, whatever, right? Like, I have other shoes, who cares? But the point is like, you just have to let it go. You just have to let it go. Like, stop trying to be like, "Is he the one?" Just be like, I enjoy their company, I'm having fun, like, whatever, it'll lead to where it leads to. It's never, ever, ever wasted time. Regardless of what you're doing, please let go of the idea of, "I am wasting time," because you're not, you're learning and growing in the event. I could have easily looked at nursing and thought, "Well, that was a freaking waste." But it's not. Because number 1, I got all this medical intuition now that I would have never had it had I not done nursing. Number 2, I get all this, like, different perspective of, like, all kinds of different people's lives that I connected with and learning and understanding different things and having more I have way more empathy after being a nurse than I ever had before I was a nurse. And I have way more understanding, like, instead of being that idea that, like, "Why wouldn't you do it this way?" Whatever, it's like, because people come from all different kinds of backgrounds and have all different kinds of exposure and experience, and I could easily I mean, it'd be easy to go, "What a waste of my 10 years and what a waste of an education." It wasn't. It wasn't at all. I am incredibly grateful that I had that. So it's like we need to stop looking at experiences and relationships as a waste of time. It never was. You learned something and you grew from it. So embrace that a little bit. I mean, working retail, I learned a lot. I don't know. I hate retail, but I learned a lot about it. All right, Ashley, you're up. You sent messages, but if you could retype, that'd be great. I think one of them was like about your future or something. I don't remember like when you type messages, you'll say like, "Oh, do you remember what you told me last week?" I don't. So please stop expecting me to remember from week to week or like when I was doing these for free and I was doing 50 readings in whatever amount of time, I do not remember. It flows through me. That's it. It's gone. It's here and gone. That's how the psychics it's called psychic amnesia. So I can't remember. Um, half the time I'll do readings for someone, I'm like, "I think I've read for you before," and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you did," and they I don't want anybody to get offended if I don't remember them. It's like, that's a good thing. If I don't remember you and I don't remember your reading, that means, like, I was in a different headspace and I was connecting with spirit and essentially channeling. So, I look and animate just the same, but I'm not really okay? So, Ashley, can you, I'm not trying to lecture you, but, like, I guess it's like, just kind of anybody's like, "Remember you said?" Nope. Pretty much no. Sometimes I do, but and I don't know why one thing is one way and not another. Um, that's Allie's. Where's Ashley's? So, you asked about if I thought that the person that you marry or that you have 2 children with, if you'll be married. I don't know that you'll be married. I do feel like you'll meet them in France. I'm not sure that they're French. Like, they may have immigrated there as well, but I don't know that you'll marry, and I feel like it's just because it doesn't become important or something like but that you're partners. Like, so, like, look at Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Never married, still together forever. They just have a, like, a kind of, Listen, marriage, when people, like, think of marriage, why was marriage put into place? It was about passing along money. It was about making sure that the woman would be financially taken care of. It's about dowries. It's about ownership. It's about and I know it's easy for me to say that, but it's like I look at marriage very differently now. You can be partners without having to be in a like a legally binding contract. I don't know if any of this makes sense. I'm trying to see if anybody's got responses. It's very quiet in the chat room tonight. Um, I don't know that it'll be Sebastian. I really and I thought about you too in this situation when I was reading something. I thought, well, that's interesting. It was like a meme about when we pick people that are um thanks, Dulce. We can pick people like oftentimes when we pick people that aren't fully available, it speaks to whether or not we're really available, right? So, and meaning, are you really open to fully being loved and seen and all of that? So, when you pick somebody like Sebastian who is just kind of getting divorced and going through that, I don't know that he's fully emotionally available. I don't feel like it'll be him, and I feel like a lot of it happens because you start to, like, build yourself up and you start to work on your own self-concept and you sort of go, "Whoa." I mean, there's a lot of guys I dated where I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, "Ugh. Why did I accept that garbage behavior? Why did I accept that, like, half-assed effort?" Like, not even half-assed, like, not even a wasn't Sebastian I thought Sebastian was the one who was just divorced. Is this the one that you just broke up with? Oh, no, that was not. That was, oh, now what's his name? But it was not, because I remember making a comment that it sounds much nicer in French than it does in English. Yes, Olivier. Um, so but isn't that interesting then? You're right now you're saying, "I'm still in love with Sebastian, but I'm trying to date somebody else." So you're not fully available. Hmm. Are you and they're telling me, they're like, "Are you in love with Sebastian, or are you in love with the idea of Sebastian?" Mm. Shoot the messenger if you want. I mean, don't really shoot me, but I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. They're saying that, and he was married. Olivia was married. They're saying that almost that you're idealizing who Sebastian was and the type of partner he was. Like that he really, I've always been in love with Sebastian, right? But he's not really all that you're remembering him to be. Like he's not really that on a pedestal. You can purchase a question, Andrea. It's just like I'm gonna tell you like I do on my manifesting chats, ask the why. Why do you want him? Like, why are you in love with him? What do you love about him? Because while you're still caught up in loving him, you're not really available to anybody else energetically. So you're gonna be attracting the married guys or the guys that aren't really, you know? It's interesting because the person that I feel like ends up being your life partner, that's the person that you have the children with, is not somebody that you end up you don't get married. You're partners, but you don't get married, and I feel like it's because there's something with him legally not a it's not that he's already married and doing polygamy or anything, but it's just feels like there's some reason why it's not ideal to get married, and I don't know what that means. So my senses, and I'm happy to be wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. You can go in and like throw pillows energetically, whatever. I don't know. My senses with Sebastian that he's not all that you're remembering him to be. That you excuse a lot of his behavior, and there's a lot of like sort of like fantasizing him being more amazing than he really was. And it's really maybe not necessarily in love, and I'm happy to be told wrong, but it's more of like a dysfunctional attachment where again, happy to be wrong. Where again, it's like having him on a pedestal. My feet are freezing, y'all. Um, oy. They're saying you could do so much better and you're worth so much more. You just need to learn that and know that. And you know what? Like, I really think it would be good for you to after this is all over, I'm gonna include this woman's YouTube channel. I can't even remember her name right now, but she's got like a I'm gonna include, releasing trauma from the body meditation that she has, and also a v like, a vagal releasing the vagus nerve or massage or whatever. I just feel like kind of like connecting in with yourself. It's okay to own that you've got all this trauma. It's okay to like own that you are in a not so great space. It doesn't make you broken. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you less than. It just means that's where you're at on your journey. And it doesn't mean you have to stay there. And it doesn't mean you're always going to be here. It's just where you're at. And I feel like sometimes we need to honor that, especially in the spiritual community. Everybody's like, be positive. I'm not about being positive all the time. Sometimes you're in the shit of it and it sucks. Um, it doesn't mean while I'm in that I'm not also going, okay, how can I move through this, right? Not have to deal with it, but just how do I move through this? So sometimes that's therapy. Sometimes that's just honoring the time and space where you're at. You can't run from it. That's the truth is we cannot run from these lessons. We have to learn them. So sometimes that means sitting in the muck of them and being really like this shit sucks. Yes, ma'am, toxic positivity. And dude, sometimes being human fucking sucks. And it doesn't make you less spiritual to go, this fucking sucks. But it's also that's a big go, like, oh, but this also isn't in alignment with my highest self. And like you're not gonna always be in alignment with your highest self, and that's okay too. Like, but it's a big sign to go, like, but I don't have to feel this way and I can move through this. And this is an area that needs to be healed and loved and embraced just as much as all the good moments. Okay. So I don't know why I'm rambling about this, but maybe you need to hear it. I want you to understand that you will find someone. You are so lovable and so amazing and so wonderful. And I know that you will find somebody. And I feel it in my bones. And I could see him and I know it, but I just feel like it might not be exactly the way you envision it, but it's going to be a lot better. Oh, I'll check real quick, Andrea. Give me a moment. I gotta log back on. Um, all right, Ashley, you can tell me to jump in the lake if you want. We used to go boating on this lake when I was little. I don't have it yet, but sometimes there's a little bit of delay, Andrea, okay? Um, we used to go boating in this lake when I was little, and I would always think I was imagining this in my head where I could feel, like, hands and people, like, reaching up to me, and I'd get all these visions and stuff in my head, And then when I started doing this work, I happened to go back to the lake and see how many, like, I don't know if I went back to the lake or if I looked up. I think I looked up. And I'm like, all these people have died from drowning in this lake because it's like got it actually has a current because it's not just it's Canyon Lake in Texas if you I don't know, whatever. And I seriously think I was connecting with all those souls, which is really super creepy. I don't know why I randomly told you that, guys, either. Okay, so, that's yours, Ashley, okay? Did you have another question? Did I answer them both? See, that's the problem. If you wanna tell me to jump in the lake, that's okay to too. It's okay to say that. Says, I mean, people, it sort of reminds me of when, Nia Rivera, when she passed, the lake had a current and it floated away from her. I think that's probably what happens with like drinking and getting tired and all that. Okay, Ashley, ask your other question because that was one. I don't know. Let me see what the second one was. Oh, George. All right, let me see. Where did my rock go? Oh, there it is. Okay, okay, so he goes, I don't know if he called you baby, but he's like, "You don't have to constantly ask about me, baby. You know I'm here. You know I'm with you." And he kind of gave you a kiss right here and hugged you. And he said, "You're always talking to me and I talk back or something." But it's like, I see you like humming while doing things and thinking about him. And it's like, he's there in those moments. But I hear you humming a song. So I don't know if it's a song connected to him or it'll randomly pop in your head. But it's like, I'm there in those moments. But it's humming. It's not singing, it's humming. I don't know if that makes any sense. He's like, "You have got to love yourself." He's like, I wish I would have known how to help you do this in life." But it makes me feel like he didn't have the tools to do that. So it's like, how could I have helped her? But I wish I would have known because it's hard for me to watch you struggle. It's hard for me not to for me to watch you not see how amazing you are. He also told me when you have a son, you have to name your son after him. And he's like saying it in a joking way, not in a like a narcissistic, weird, creepy way. He's showing me you humming. So maybe you're doing it without realizing it. Is there something with your right palm? He goes, "Well, you better." And he said, "Life is too short. You need to stop worrying about the small stuff. It's not worth it. Wasted time." I wasted so many years worrying. Is there something with his palm? Not in your palm, but like something with it? Because I'm like, I don't normally do this movement, doing this, so I don't know. Or is there a pattern or a rolling something? Rolling dough, rolling, I don't know. But I was doing this. It's something connected to you because I don't normally do this. And they make me do things I don't normally do while I'm doing readings. which is probably a little weird and unnerving for most people, but it'll make sense later. It might not be connecting with you right now, but something this and the humming will make sense. Did he have those little Chinese, those little balls that you do this with, and they make those little ringing noises? Because I'm like, what does it mean? Quit being so vague. Hmm. Allie, do you want to ask your questions? That's fine, KK. Thank you so much. You kept rubbing your hands together earlier when I was out because it was really cold. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. It will make sense at a point, okay? So I don't know. It's okay if you don't always know right away. That's like sometimes I myself have had reason readings from John Edward and others, and it didn't make sense for. So it doesn't always have to connect. Just hold on to it. It'll make sense later. Okay. I'm gonna move on though. I really need to get through these people. Um, will I do well this semester? A's in fashion a few years ago. I kind of feel guilty for studying it and did nothing with it. Okay, what did I just went on a whole spiel about don't feel guilty about something that you did in the past, even if you don't use it now, because there's a reason for it. You learn something from it. It will come into play. You're welcome, Ashley. It will come into play. So let go of that guilt. It will make sense later. It will come into play later. I don't use my nursing degree. I don't use my nursing license. I'm a registered nurse. I don't use it. I not for 1 minute do I feel guilty about spending 10 years or the money on the education or doing any of that stuff because it led me to where I am today. Stop feeling guilty about that. Stop putting pressure on yourself for that. Okay? It will make sense to you later. Maybe you needed to learn about fashion and the fashion business because when you become a business analyst, you're going to work for a company in fashion and it will give you a different perspective, a different knowledge and a different like it'll actually like, be a benefit for researching jobs. So it may circle back around. Just saying. Okay, so yes, you will do well in school. I feel like I don't know if you have an accounting class. It feels like it's just a little bit more work because of the it feels like the like algebra part of it, the math part of it feels like a little bit more, but you'll be fine with it. It just means maybe requires a little bit more focus in that class. But it feels like any marketing classes you may have to take and any like MIS classes you have to take. I don't know if they still do those classes, but it feels like those are easier. The harder one would be where it's more of a math component. What's your second question, Allie? And then Clarinda and Starry Sky, you're up. So, easy for me to say, like, manifest that it works out and that, like, you have more than enough time. I also feel like you get in your head a little bit about how much things take and how long things take and procrastinate a little bit. This might be your ADHD component. So it feels like it's really important. This is what I have in my manifesting journals is like the way it's written for the to-do part is realistic goals, things you want to accomplish and things that pop up, but it's also like really important that you put the amount of time that it should take for you to do something because you can get time blindness where you're like, "Oh my god, I have 3 hours before this is due or I have 3 hours before I have to go and do something else and I have all this stuff to get done." It's like, but if you and so it seems like a lot in a short amount of time, but if you put the amount of times that something should take you, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour, whatever, it becomes digestible and not so like overwhelming. And it feels like it's really important for you to be very specific and do that for yourself. It also feels like instead of feeling like I need to learn and absorb this in one setting, you would really benefit if you took 20 or 30, become very list oriented, very schedule oriented, and understanding that, like, not, it's in the real world, like we're in high school, your teacher's going, okay, let me hold your hand, whatever. Like, you have to set your own schedule. You need to mentally decide at on this day, at this time, I have to do this. On this day, at this time, I have to answer my emails, and like make it like, and set timers and set reminders, and like, just you have to do that for yourself. Different ADHD than somebody who has a typical brain. Okay. So, Allie, what's your second question? And then I'm going to close the list for the night just because I have a few more questions I have to get to. Yes, but not for a while. And I literally feel like it starts with fish, which sounds lame, but that's what I feel like it starts with for you. Um, it feels like it's like I love the idea of it, but it's so much responsibility. And while I'm trying to get through school, so I feel like when you're done with school is when you get a pet. Kay, I actually have you down again for another one. Don't worry. She doesn't have access to my PayPal, so I've got you because I keep my own running list here. Um, okay, Regine, I don't know who Barbara is. Oh, if you're on here. And I got Regine, and then we're done. List is closed. Okay. So that's Allie. Clorinda, you wanted to know about if you're going to move. When will I move and where will I end up? I actually feel like I'm seeing like a couple months. I don't feel like it's that far out. So I don't know, are you selling your mom's house? Is that why you're moving? Um, but it feels like not that far out. And I feel like I'm living not in the area you're in now. I don't want to give it away, but I actually feel like you're moving a little further west, and it feels a little bit more rural. And I feel like maybe on a lake or near a lake. The first deal fell through. So it feels like February for like, I don't know, I said a couple months, but that's about a couple months. Like, it feels like February feels about right. I don't have a town name, but it just feels a little further west from where you're at, and it feels a little bit more rural. Yeah. It doesn't feel gigantic or anything, it just feels like enough. And I think it's about affordability, but it's also about, like, wanting more space and nature and just feeling wanting to feel more connected and not so, like, I don't know. Okay. Starry Sky and Shar, you guys are up. And then Kay, you're after Shar with your one left. And then Andrea. I haven't put the list up in a minute, so hold on, bear with me. I feel like after Thanksgiving, because I said, should you start looking now? And it was like December. So it just feels like, but which is a week away. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. So Starry Sky, will everyone be healthy to go to Florida for Christmas? Yes. Hands down, yes. Like, that was such an easy one. Um, Shar, are you here? Ayama, which I don't know what your I don't have your payment. So unless it's under a different than your screen name. So it could be that there's a delay and I would honor it if that's the case. Whoops. Um I'm not a jerk face, whatever. Sure. Okay. Do you see me winning the SSI check appeal that we have? Now we have to work extra hard to income and Social Security cuts off this check. Right. Okay. So I feel like yes, you will, but it's time and finagling. So it's either there's a loophole that has to be like resubmitted, or it's like patience is the feeling. So it's not like stop. It's like sort of that feeling of like same thing with another person where you can't squeeze it to death and make it happen. It's like just knowing and allowing it to come to you. But there's also something about a loophole or a like there's like some weird finagling with paperwork that has to happen, but you'll get it. And it feels interesting to me because it feels like I talked to just the right person, like it's all happenstance. And they're like, "Oh, this is what was missing or wrong, or like something got filled out just wrong here. We'll fix that for you right away and you'll get it, no problem." So it feels like trusting and knowing it's coming to you, it's gonna happen, circumstances don't matter, I don't care what it looks like, and then knowing that everything sort of falls into place. So when I manifest, like, things that are, like, emotional changes or, patience or things like that, it's not that, like, I just automatically get patience, it's that things start to pop up to help me. So, like, being a better mom, being a more patient mom, being, whatever. It's not that, like, I magically wake up and I'm more patient, it's that I'm certain tools or videos or things are put in front of me by the universe, or I have a conversation with someone, they're like, "Oh, you should do this or that." Like these things start getting propped in front of me to help me along my way. I've been manifesting patience for a long time and like getting better. And like all these people are coming up and videos come up and things like that where I'm like, oh, like, and the ideas keep getting reinforced to help me. It's not that it just magically appears, right? So it feels like it's not that you're not gonna have to do anything, it's like I may make the phone call and the right person answers and goes, "Oh, you filled this out wrong." But it's not being, like, trying to force it to happen, just trusting and knowing it's coming to you and it'll all work out. It is under Barbara, that's what I have it for. Okay, Ayama, I've got you for 1. So, if you, because I won't remember your name, and that's the truth, it takes me forever to remember differences between people's screen names and their PayPal names. If you can just put a note in the PayPal, it'll sometimes should let you leave a note. Just say what your screen name is. That's helpful. Okay. What's your second question, Shar? And then Kay, if you want to ask your other question. And then Andrea, while I'm waiting, I can come up and roll up to yours because you're in the line here. Um, I know it's here somewhere and I'm going to find it. Something about moving within the year or if you're going to buy the house of your dreams. So I feel like it's been over a year since the last. Okay, no, that's Ashley. There's yours. There's yours. I think I said the money correctly. There. Question: will my family and I be able to purchase the house a house within the next year? Our dream house. So here's what I feel like. Oh, okay. There's Char's number 2 and K's, and then I'll get yours because yours came up pretty quick. I feel like I am being rushed into having to choose a major, and I haven't figured out what I want to do. Or twice. Any advice from spirit? The only one rushing you is you. The only one rushing you is you. And I don't know that's really like, my question to you would be to do this. Ask yourself, what is stopping me from making a full decision? What is stopping me from committing to something? There's this societal idea that I have a major and I have a degree, and so I have to use it. Like, I have to use it forever. I'm gonna be this forever, and I'm stuck with it for 50 years, and so I better really know what I wanna do because I'm gonna be doing this for the next 50 years of my life. And the fact of the matter is, and I know you don't wanna waste money and time and whatever, but stop looking at life experience as wasted money and time. I loved college. I learned a lot in college. I met some of the most amazing people, and I have so many wonderful memories and so many like that I can't remember. And I loved being a nurse. I loved it. And I'm glad I'm not a nurse anymore. I I love that it offered me, and going to the school that I went to offered me like so much wisdom in a way that I didn't understand, that it wouldn't be on paper for you to pick. And it's not about experiences or people, but it's about like gaining a sense of like I did it in a different way than other people would have done it. And then it taught me to like kind of be okay with going against all odds, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to look at, can you be okay with, if I pick this major and I do this and I'm good with it for 10 years, is that like that's okay. It doesn't have to be for 50 years. What do I want to do right now? What do I want to do right now? What do I think I want to do? The other thing is like I know plenty of people who have liberal arts degrees and they didn't do jack shit with their degree, but it's a degree on paper and people are like, "Oh, good, you have a college education. You're stuck with something for 4 to 5 years." Like that's all they care about. It's all a game, man. It's all a game. I know that sounds really not so great, but it's the truth. So stop putting the pressure on yourself like, "Oh my god, what if I don't know?" Look at what you have grades and you could always see, what do I qualify towards so far? Go meet with the campus has counselors that help you with this, and say like, "I have all of these classes. What degree am I close to getting?" Go with that. You might be surprised at where you're at. You don't have to do anything for the rest of your life anymore. It's like it's very interesting. People start second and third careers all the time. I do. I love helping people spiritually. Man, that like like they're saying like the most important thing for you to understand is that you will be okay and you are enough, and you're putting too much weight onto what people think of you, or what it qualifies you, and if it validates you, and it doesn't. Because nobody for the rest of your life is gonna be like, and like obvious things that you got degrees in as a doctor, or whatever, but nobody's gonna go, "So, what were your grades like?" I mean, that's where the saying "C's get degrees" comes from. Because it's unless you have like an Ivy League degree and you get involved in some of those circles, like no one really gives a rat's ass what you have a degree in. Like unless you're a doctor or like you need something where you need to have that background. But you know what? My cousin, this is a prime example. She has a PhD in biochemistry, went to work as a patent agent. So she has that as well. And then she went to law school and became, got her degree and passed the bar and became a patent attorney. She used her PhD in biochemistry to help her specialize in as a patent attorney, but like, and now she doesn't even practice. And she's like fully happy. She's a wonderful human being. I adore her. So, like, take the pressure off. I actually feel like you're going to end up going back to what you originally majored in. And I want you to, like, be very careful not to feel like you screwed up by changing your major to the second one, because that might become your minor. Okay. What's your second? Was that your second? What? That was your second question. Okay. Kay said, "Will I find my life partner this year?" I was told I'll be in a lighthearted connection in the beginning of the year, and then after the ends, she will come in when I least expect it. Is that true? Who did you hear that from? Was it me? I never remember your readings. You're very welcome, Shar. I don't feel like it'll be this year. I'm leaning more towards 2023 for that, and it doesn't necessarily it feels mean like you won't meet that person until 2023, but it feels like, that's where the big commitment comes. So maybe you meet them at the end of 2022, which is like, like that sounds really terrible. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's so long." And like, but you're gonna be with them forever, right? So enjoy the like time alone right now. I know it's hard when if you haven't been in a really big relationship, it's hard to think about like, how do I enjoy being by myself? It's like, but when you're in a really big relationship, you kind of start to go, oh, you were told August of next year or August of this year? This year? Sometimes too with timing, like my mentor, Stephen Robinson, is really funny. Um, he's really funny because he'll go, I'm usually right about the circumstances, but I'm always off by about a year. So timing is a funny thing. The other thing is remember this, and this is really important. When we do readings, we're reading a timeline. So energetically where you're at. So if you don't like the timeline, speed that up. Decide that you're ready, learn the lessons, you know? Okay. Andrea, you asked about your house. So I feel like yes, but I feel like 18 months, not a year. And I feel like so maybe it's that you like find the house in 12 months, but like all the stuff it takes a little while for it to go through. It may be like a situation where the home is a fixer upper. So maybe you buy it on like a what do they call it, a short sale or something like that, and then you make it the way you want it to be. Because I don't feel like it's move-in ready. I don't feel like your partner will come in this year, Kay. It's already the end of November, so, like, that's a wash, right? So it may be the end of next year that she comes in, but then it's not like maybe it's like a kinda in and out thing or you're friends and then develop a deeper connection in 2023, but that's how it feels to me. Yeah. Andrea, I don't know if you oh, okay, thank you, I believe buy a fixer upper too. Okay, perfect. So, but it feels like it feels like, when you do the actual closing, it would be, like, around the 18-month mark. Barb Ayama, what did your question is up here. And then Regina got you for 2, and then we're done. Yes, that's what I said. I said it may mean that she comes at the end of 22. So, you're welcome. So it may mean, like, you meet her, but you're not serious until later. Like, maybe you just are friends at first and then Ayama, where are you? Where are you? I'm trying to find your question. I sent two. Oh, what are your questions? Because I don't know, I can't find it. Oh, there we are. Ayama, if you okay, hang on. Wondering if there's a possibility still for loving partnership with a man. I'm 71. You're very welcome, Andrea. Ayama, I feel like there is a chance for love. I do feel like you'll move in with your brother, but it's funny, they show me you moving in and then moving out. I don't know what that means. If it means, or maybe you decide to do like a trial period of living with him before I feel like he's very particular. Like, so is he OCD or does he have like very specific ways of doing things and like pretty set in his ways? But I feel like you wouldn't meet someone until after that. So maybe that's why maybe you're moving in with him for short term and then you meet someone and you move out. That's what it could be. But I feel like you don't meet someone until then. And please don't think that you're too old. You're not. Hi, Regine. Go ahead and write your questions. So there, I answered both of them. I hope that's helpful. Okay, Barbara. Ayama. Sorry. um, all right, Regine, you're up, and then we are done. Any update on the car? I didn't purchase it yet. Why didn't you purchase it yet? When did I say you would get one? You both do. So you might butt heads a little bit by September. What I tell y'all about timing? Maybe it's September of next year. They're making me feel like you're kind of dragging your feet on it. Like, it's not really that there's some magical thing saying, "Don't get a car." They're like, you actually have to go out and, like, do the annoying thing of look at it. And I feel like what happens is you drag your feet until just after the first of the year, because things just kinda pop up with the holidays and everything, but it's like, it's gonna require you to, like, go out, like, several times to go look for the right and it, like, shows up, and it feels like you're not really putting yourself out there for it. That's like, when people are like, "When am I gonna meet him?" I'm like, "Do you leave your house? Are you on any dating apps or websites? Like, are you going out and meeting people? Because if you're not doing any of those things, why do you expect it to happen?" Most people don't have their contractor show up on their doorstep and fall in love. It did happen to my aunt, but, like, it's not a normal thing to happen. You do that sometimes. It feels like you're going to have to actually, like, put in the, like, "I'm going to find a car," and, like, put yourself out there to do it. You are not at all. Big hugs to you too, Ayama. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Um, Regine, what's your second question? I'll tell you a second. Oh, Mel Robbins says this, and like sometimes I'm like, meh, like she's like, don't focus on the end, focus on all the stuff you have to do in the middle. Well, yes, and like you need to have the end goal of what you want to manifest, the car, but it doesn't mean, again, like I said, it doesn't mean I just magically go, I woke up and I'm a perfect parent. Like that shit doesn't happen. It means that it puts the mindset out there that I really want to have these things come up. So, like, people come into my life and we have conversations and I'm like, "Oh, isn't that interesting? Synchronicities, that's how the universe works for you." Or like a random video will pop up or I looked up a video about I wanted to learn about like how to do the vagal nerve thing, massage. And this perfect woman came up with like that showed me and I wanted it to be where it showed me the position where my finger was going to be on my ear because I like the way this one woman was, I was like, "Is that in the canal? Like what's going on there?" And like the perfect video popped up. I didn't even have to put that shows positioning. I just put like, whatever. And she showed the positioning and everything was perfect. It was beautiful. But then her channel led to these other things about like releasing your psoas muscle and doing these other things because those were things I was thinking about. Like things will happen to get things to you. The parenting thing, like it's been a way to get there, but like I realized like, oh, I'm connecting the dots how I missed the things were happening for bridge of incidents. So like you have to kind of put yourself into the like know that it still shows up in the 3D and physical things as bridges of incidents. Okay, what do you need to know? They're, like, literally saying, "You need to relax." It's okay to relax, Regine. It's okay. You're enough. It's okay to relax. It doesn't mean you're lazy. So it feels like when you were younger, if you weren't constantly doing something because you had a parent who was, like, busy, 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 like, if you weren't constantly doing something, then you were being lazy or you weren't being enough or you weren't, like, you know, s standing to your whatever, ability or working to your ability. I don't know, that it was, like, it sort of, like, goes along with that line of, like, laziness is the devil's playground kinda thing, and it's like, it's not. Like, it can be, but it's okay to, like, sometimes relax. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ayama. Um, so that's my feeling is that they're sort of like, don't feel guilty for relaxing and not being busy all the time, Regine. It's okay to be relaxed and, like, chill. I have a dear friend who I have, like, she's, like so much respect for her, but, like, she cannot sit down. She cleans out her guest garbage can, like, before you've even, you walk out the door and that garbage can has been picked up and cleaned. Like, she doesn't relax, and I often think, like, it's okay to relax a little, but she's just balancing all these plates and everything, and she's incredibly talented and gets shit done, but, like, I always wonder, like, can you sit and just relax? Does that resonate with you? Do you understand when I say that? Like, it's okay to not feel guilty about, like, taking a day off or just wanting to put your feet up and not have an agenda around it, but just, "I'm putting my feet up." It doesn't mean you're gonna fall into this pit of despair and you'll never get out of it. You'll be okay. You won't allow yourself to fall into that pit of despair. Alrighty. I'm going to say good night. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. And I will be doing my lives this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I'll be sure to like message in the little community space. So look for that in the community section of my channel. I'll let you know if I'm going to be tomorrow or Tuesday, and we'll see how the week pans out. I may be on Thanksgiving because I just threw my rock. Why not? um, so y'all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you later. Thank you so much for your love and support.